They said it like it made perfect sense. She needs it more than you do. The kind of sentence that sounds fair until you look at the math. It was my college fund. Not a fortune, just years of saving, side hustles, babysitting, tutoring, birthday money folded into envelopes and tucked into a drawer. I'd gotten the acceptance letter 3 weeks earlier. State school. Communications program. I cried when I opened it. First in the family to go. And then this. She's going through a lot right now, Mom said gently. She's been struggling, Dad added. They meant my cousin Harper. 2 years older. A high school dropout. She'd had a rough time, sure. Partied hard. Lost jobs. Moved in and out of Grandma's place twice. Then last month she got pregnant. No partner in sight. And suddenly, my future became a solution. We'll make it up to you, Mom said, hand on my arm. We'll find a way, Dad echoed. I was 18. My name's Marissa. I'd always been the helper. The one who picked up extra shifts, the one who smiled through disappointments. I didn't cry in public. I didn't slam doors. I understood. So I nodded. It's okay, I said. I get it. They exhaled like that fixed everything. I didn't say that Harper and I hadn't spoken in 6 months. That the last time I saw her, she borrowed my laptop and left a crack in the screen. That she once told me college was for people who can't handle real life. I didn't say that I'd already picked out my courses. That I'd walked through the bookstore just to smell the pages. That I've been tutoring kids in algebra all year to save extra for books. I didn't say any of that. Because when you're the understanding one, no one checks if you're okay. They just assume you'll bounce. Quietly.
Softly.
I went to my room and closed the door. Sat on the edge of the bed. Stared at the email from financial aid like it could still change.
It didn't.
They transferred the money the next morning. Used words like emergency, crisis, compassion. I watched Dad click confirm while sipping coffee like it was a bill being paid. A transaction. And something inside me folded up. Not broken. Just shelved. Harper moved into our basement the following week. Brought garbage bags full of clothes and a mattress that smelled like smoke. She called the baby Peanut and played music loud enough to rattle the vents. Mom made her tea. Dad bought prenatal vitamins. No one mentioned college again. At night, I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. My textbooks still stacked by the door. Unread. Unneeded. The thing is, when people take something from you for a good reason, they think you won't mind. That you'll understand.
That you'll stay.
That you'll help. And I did. For a while. But something was already shifting. Quietly. Deliberately. I started making notes.
Job boards.
Community programs. Transfer options. Not revenge. Just preparation. Because what they didn't realize was that once something like that happens, once someone says you don't need it as much as she does, it never lands the way they think. It doesn't create peace. It plants resolve. I got a job at the pharmacy a mile from our house. Evening shifts. Weekends. Didn't tell anyone at first. Didn't need permission. I stocked shelves, rang up customers, learned to navigate the insurance system like a second language. Memorized prices, discount codes, how to process returns without blinking. Harper slept in most mornings. She said pregnancy was exhausting. Mom nodded, eyes soft with concern. Meanwhile, I learned how to open the register and close the till without needing a manager. I learned how to stretch $12.50 an hour across groceries and savings. Quiet math.
No plans.
No one asked if I was tired. By month 3, Harper was holding baby name votes on Facebook. I was meal prepping for the week and researching night courses at the community college. Financial aid. Payment plans. Application deadlines. I didn't need approval. Just strategy. At dinner one night, Dad mentioned how proud he was that Harper was turning her life around. I was scooping mashed potatoes.
She's trying, Mom added.
I bit the inside of my cheek. No one asked what I was trying. That weekend, I took a cashier certification course online. Paid for it myself. Passed it with 98%. I printed the certificate and slid it into my drawer. Didn't frame it.
Didn't post about it.
It wasn't for them. The first real fracture came when Harper asked if she could borrow my car. I was standing in the kitchen, apron still on from work. She was on the couch in pajama pants, eating a sandwich. "Just for a quick appointment," she said, waving a hand. I blinked. "My car?"
Yeah.
"It's not like you need it all the time." I laughed. It surprised both of us. "I paid for that car," I said. "With what college fund?" She shot back, smirking. The silence that followed was sharp. Mom looked up from the sink, face paling. Dad stood behind the fridge door like maybe he hadn't heard it.
I didn't respond.
I walked past her, out the front door, into the cold. Drove around the block until the sting in my eyes evaporated. When I came home, Harper was still on the couch. No one apologized. No one mentioned it. Like it hadn't happened. But it had. And I wasn't going to forget. The next morning, I moved the car keys into my bedroom drawer. The one with the certificate. The one with my pay stubs. The one where I kept proof that I existed outside their expectations. I started waking up earlier. Running before work. Applying for grants at midnight. I didn't tell them. Not because I was hiding, but because I was building something they didn't think I needed. Independence. Leverage. A future. And once you start building quietly, brick by brick, people don't notice until they trip over the foundation. Harper had the baby in early spring. A girl. Peanut became Penelope. The house turned into a nursery overnight. Bottles lined the counters. Diapers overflowed the trash. The living room smelled like formula and warm milk. Mom took time off work. Dad installed a baby monitor. They walked around like proud survivors of someone else's storm. I kept working. Took extra shifts. Stopped eating dinner at home. No one noticed. By the time Penelope was 3 months old, Harper started going out again. Just to get air, she said. Sometimes for hours. Sometimes overnight. Mom always made excuses. She needs a break. She's overwhelmed. She's young. I nodded, then got back to cataloging prescriptions. The shift came on a Thursday. Harper forgot to pick up Penelope's formula. I was closing up at work when the phone buzzed. A string of texts from Mom. "Where are you? We need the Enfamil." She's crying nonstop. I stared at the screen. Then typed. "Not my kid." I didn't send it. I deleted the words. Then muted the thread. That night, I got home after midnight. Harper was asleep on the couch. TV still on. The baby in a bassinet beside her. I walked past them, went to my room, and opened the acceptance email. I had reapplied. Different school. Better program. Night classes. Full ride scholarship. I had never shown them the letter. Not out of spite, but because I knew what they would say. "That's amazing, but she's still recovering. Penelope needs stability." They'd already decided what I was for. Support. Structure. Sacrifice. The next day, I paid the deposit. Printed the class schedule. Taped it to the back of my door. I didn't tell anyone. I let it hang there, waiting to be noticed. Days passed. Nothing. One evening, Harper barged in. "I need your laptop." I closed it slowly.
No.
She blinked. "What?" I said no. She crossed her arms. "Seriously? After everything?" I stood. "All I've done is give, and you've mistaken that for access." She scoffed. "I'm a mom." I nodded. "Then you'll figure it out." She stormed off, slammed the door behind her. 10 minutes later, Mom knocked. "Couldn't you just help her out this once?" I turned, pointed to the schedule taped behind me. "I start next month." She stared at it like it was written in another language. "I didn't know you were still applying." "I didn't stop," I said. "You just stopped asking." The conversation ended there. No fight. Just silence. The next day, I boxed up the textbooks. The ones I'd never used. The ones I'd planned for. This time they were going with me. I moved out on a Tuesday. No drama.
No announcement.
Just boxes in the back seat, and my name on a new lease. Small studio. Peeling paint. Freedom. I told them the night before. At dinner. Harper was scrolling on her phone. Penelope was gurgling in her lap. Mom was wiping down the counter. Dad had the news on low. I'm leaving tomorrow, I said. For heads turned. Leaving where? Dad asked. I got an apartment near campus. Harper blinked. You're going to school? I start classes next week. No one spoke. Not at first. Mom set the towel down. You didn't tell us. You didn't ask. Dad leaned back in his chair. You just decided? Yes, I said. After you decided for me the first time. Harper laughed under her breath. Whatever. Thought you were over that. I turned to her. You don't get to measure what I'm over. She looked away. The next morning I packed. No one helped. That was fine. I wasn't asking anymore. Before I left, Mom stood at the door. She looked tired. Not angry. Just unsure. You sure you don't want to stay until the semester starts? I've already missed one, I said. I'm not missing another. She nodded. Didn't argue. 3 weeks into school, I got promoted at the pharmacy. Manager in training. Better pay. Flexible hours. I studied on breaks. Taped flashcards to the register. Built something every day. One evening, I got a message from Dad. The dryer had stopped working. Could I take a look? I didn't reply. Not right away. 2 days later, I sent a link to a repair service. He never said thanks. Didn't have to. That wasn't the point. Harper texted me once. Said Penelope had a fever. Asked if I could pick up meds. I told her the pharmacy had delivery now. Boundary by boundary, I was redrawing the map. Not burning bridges. Just moving my house to the other side. Mid-semester, I got an A on a public speaking project. My professor pulled me aside. You've got something here, she said. Voice, timing, clarity. You ever consider broadcast? I smiled. Thought about all the times I'd been told to stay quiet. To be understanding. To give it up. No, I said. But I'm considering it now. That weekend, I drove past the old house. Lights on. Stroller by the porch. Trash bins full. It didn't look like home anymore. It looked like a place I used to serve. And the best part? I didn't feel bitter. I felt earned. Because taking everything back didn't mean revenge. It meant reclamation. Of time. Of space. Of self. A year later, I gave a speech at a scholarship banquet. Talked about second chances. About how giving up isn't always the end. Sometimes it's the blueprint. Afterward, Mom hugged me. Tighter than I expected. I didn't realize what we took, she whispered. I know, I said. But I did.